order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call today. May I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्ण विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शिकागो हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Priti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvindaksha Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining every day and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Tiffany Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your association. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashimati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining early morning, mid-morning, and with your beautiful chanting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. This is Puja.
Hare Krishna Puja Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Is there anybody?
Krishna Vidita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyama Gauri Devidasi from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shyama Gauri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Balavrinda.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, all glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your sweet association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to all the devotees, all glories to Guru Maharaj. And I'm thankful that your Sangha is so good. Yesterday I heard your Chaitanya Bhagavatam was fantastic, nectarian. All the best. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sukakar Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining every day and for your sweet words, encouraging all of us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your association. Hari Bol, nice to hear your name every day, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I offer my humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And I would like to say sorry because I had to leave yesterday's Bhagavatam class in the middle way because I had a tuition. So sorry.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to the call. That's okay. You can always listen to the recording. YouTube is there, and also we share MP3 also on the WhatsApp groups. Please hear on YouTube and share among your friends. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your sincerity in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Krishna Katatesh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Nandarani Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your joining daily and giving your association, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna Balavrinda. This is Induleka Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Induleka Karna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day. And thank you so much for all your services. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
You can start recording.
I want to.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, Preeti Mataji, go ahead.
Sorry. This is Preeti Vilasni Devidasi from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Welcome back to early morning classes. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your sweet association. Thank you so much for everything that you do for all of us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother. I want to say hello to Hare Krishna, to Balavrinda. I can see a very bright future devotee. She's going to preach a lot of people. I can see a shine in her face at this age. Really, you are training your daughter so well.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your blessings. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 6th Canto, Chapter 1, verse 33. Before I hand over call to Maharaj, I request Raj Prabhu to give a brief introduction.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna Balavrinda, bless me. So this is a brief introduction for Maharaj. His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj is a disciple of ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and an initiating spiritual master with the ISKCON movement. Maharaj came in contact with the ISKCON in Denver, Colorado at the age of 24. In 73, Maharaj began practicing Krishna consciousness in New York City and shortly thereafter began serving at New Vrindavan Farm Community in West Virginia. That same year, Maharaj received his initiation from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. In 1986, His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj accepted the sannyas order and began preaching in Cincinnati and Columbus, Ohio. In 1995, Maharaj began serving as resident sannyasi in Chicago, where he was based until 2013, when he relocated to Karlovac, Croatia. At present, His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj offers spiritual guidance across Europe, USA, and India. This is a very brief introduction for Maharaj. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your valuable time and association this morning. Please take over the call, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, verse 33. Kasyava kuta ayataha kasmanasya nisedata kim deva upadevaya yuyam kim siddhasattamaha. Translation. So what is happening here is Ajamil apparently has not left his body, but he's about to leave his body, and the Yamadutas are about to take him away to Yamaraj for punishment. But the Vishnu Dutas arrive at the same time, and then there is this discussion: who does the soul of Ajamil belong to? And so here's that discussion continued. Dear sirs, these are the Yamadutas speaking, whose servants are you? Where have you come from? And why are you forbidding us to touch the body of Ajamil? Are you demigods from the heavenly planets? Are you sub-demigods, or are you the best of devotees? Purport. The most significant word used in this verse is Siddha Sattama, which means the best of the perfect. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.3, it says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kastyat yatatat siddhyaye. Out of millions of persons, one may try to become Siddha, perfect, or in other words, self-realized. A self-realized person knows that he is not the body, but the spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. At the present moment, practically everyone is unaware of this fact. But one who understands this has attained perfection and therefore is called Siddha. Siddha means perfect. When one understands that the soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, and one thus engages in devotional service of the Supreme Soul, one becomes Siddha Sattama. One is then eligible to live in the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka. The word Siddha Sattama therefore refers to a liberated, pure devotee. Since the Yamadutas are servants of Yamaraj, who was also one of the Siddha Sattamas, they knew that the Siddha Sattama is above the demigods and sub-demigods, and indeed above all living entities within this material world. The Yamadutas therefore inquired why the Vishnu Dutas were present when a sinful man was going to die. It should be noted that Ajamil was not yet dead, for the Yamadutas were trying to snatch the soul from his heart. They could not take the soul, however, and therefore Ajamil was not yet dead. This will be revealed in the later verses. Ajamil was simply in an unconscious state when the argument was in process between the Yamadutas and the Vishnu Dutas. The conclusion of the argument was to be a decision regarding who would claim the soul of Ajamil. Gyan Timidandasya Gana Jana Salakaya Chaksu Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyapya De Sitarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is one of the more interesting dilemmas that's based on spiritual principles, and that is being narrated here in this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's interesting because Ajamil, apparently his whole life from the time he was a young man to his present situation was very, very sinful. His sinful activities are mentioned in other places throughout the scriptures as quite severe, that he was committing criminal activity in order to attain money so he could support his wife, who was a very, what we might say, highly positioned prostitute. She wanted luxury, and he didn't have it. And so he was kidnapping, he was stealing, he was robbing, he was committing many thievery, thefts, all to support his wife and the children that he was having from his wife also. Ajamil's previous life was pious, that is, early part of his life, but somehow, due to wrong association, he happened to see something he shouldn't have seen, being an innocent Brahmana. He became somewhat distracted from his prayerful life by witnessing a Sudra and a Sudrani, that was now to become his wife, was the Sudrani, embracing in a very licentious way in public, which is hardly ever heard of, practically never heard of in the Vedic times, at the time of Ajamil's presence. Now it's something that goes on regularly, even in India. But what he saw caused him to change his whole direction in life, and his lusty desires were aroused, and he wanted to fulfill them, and therefore he wound up in this relationship. And now his whole life is simply one sinful activity after another. He gave up all of his religious practice, everything, simply to center around enjoying the presence of his wife and the family that they created. Now he's about to die, and therefore his judgment is about to come up. Now the Yamadutas, sometimes devotees they think this is some kind of fictitious personality, the Yamadutas. But actually these people are real. They are agents of Yamaraj. They're quite fierce looking, and they come to people who have not come to spiritual life or who are sinful. In other words, people who are pious, very pious, and devotees do not see the Yamadutas. The people who are sinful, and to commit sin is very easy nowadays. So many ways one can commit sinful activities. And it goes on today as the ordinary course of life to perform intoxication, illicit sex, eating fleshy food, and performing a lot of time, and even cheating in business, which is another form of gambling. So all of these things are now commonplace in the world. And so the Yamadutas have a lot of work to do at the present moment. There has been accounts by devotees who have experienced other people seeing the Yamadutas just before they died. And it's not something that we should take lightly. Therefore, one has to understand that this material world is meant for suffering. And anyone who tries to enjoy separate from Krishna or separate from the Supreme Lord himself will fall into an activity of sinfulness, and therefore will be subjected to many types of suffering, which culminates in being taken to Yamaraj by these personalities. And then they are punished, and then they're given a new body, and then they begin again their material existence. So, but here, somehow or other, and it's explained that Ajamil, he had the good fortune of naming his most youngest of all children, Narayan. And he was very attached. You'll see this is quite common where the youngest child becomes the attachment for the grandfather or even for the father. And therefore, his excessive attachment to his son encouraged him to constantly want to be around his little child. And so he would call him in different ways. So at the time of death, all he could think of was his son. And therefore he called in a very helpless way the name of his child. But somehow, by the grace of God, he named his child Narayan, which is a very powerful name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when he called in a helpless condition, calling out for his son. But somehow he remembered at the time of calling, the name of Narayan actually reminded him of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, he chanted in Namabhas. That was not pure devotion, but free from all material, free from all offenses. He chanted offenselessly the name of the Lord. And therefore, the Vishnu Dutas showed up. Vishnu Dutas came, and now you see there's this discussion between the two of them. And here, the Yamadutas are questioning, well, we can see you are very elevated persons. You're demigods, some demigods, or the best of the devotees. You don't belong here. This is our work. Why have you come? And at the same time, why are you interfering with our service to Yamaraj? So the discussion will go on and you'll see. Now it's interesting to note that the soul, this is a general statement, the soul is never contaminated by material energy. The soul cannot be entangled in material energy, and the soul cannot be liberated from that entanglement either. It is an illusionary concept that goes on as a feature of consciousness in the material world. In other words, when the living entity tries to enjoy material energy, which is not possible, because the living entity is by nature spiritual, and material nature is temporary and material. Well, in that term of enjoyment, what comes in contact with the material energy is the mind and the senses, which is also material. And therefore, when the mind and the senses come in contact with the material energy, the soul thinks it is enjoying the material world, but it doesn't touch the material world. So it's an interesting position to understand, and this is mentioned in the 11th canto when Krishna speaks this to Uddhava, that the soul is never liberated or never entangled, but it just thinks. And the example is like a dream. When you go to sleep at night, you create a whole program of activities on a subtle level. And you may also experience happiness and distress in that dream. But it's simply a dream. It's simply the creation of the mind. That's all. So our material life is also a creation of the mind. It's not any different than our night dream. We dream that we are something else than who we actually are. We're dreaming, we are pure spiritual energy, part and parcel of Krishna. Jiver Sarupai Krishna and Nityadas. We do not touch the material energy. But in our desire to enjoy this material energy, we activate the mind and senses and we come in contact with this material energy. And we experience a type of happiness and suffering based on the quality of that contact. And it's just like in the dream, when the mind takes us to a subtle existence, we experience a pleasant dream or maybe an unpleasant dream. And we're living in that so-called reality, but it's illusion. We call dreams an illusion, but this waking existence is another form of dreaming because the soul is thinking different than its actual existence. So when the soul comes in contact with the material energy through the mind and senses, it becomes illusion and therefore it gets entangled. So the entanglement is an illusion, but it is real at the same time because it brings the soul into a state of so-called suffering, but it's not suffering. Just like when you suffer in a dream, you don't really suffer, but you actually experience suffering. So the solution is to engage in devotional service. And then the soul comes in contact with its pure essence, that is Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the body, the mind, and the senses become subordinate to the soul's desire and are used in the service of the Lord. Now, Ajamil, he is so much entangled in this illusionary state of trying to enjoy that now his mind and body are going to be dragged away along with him, the soul, to a place of punishment. And that punishment is another form of dream state. Everything in the material world is a dream. It has nothing to do with us, the soul. But because we accept this material world as a reality, we suffer and enjoy in contact with different activities, depending on the quality of that contact, such as in the mode of ignorance, we suffer tremendously and cause suffering to others. In the mode of passion, we suffer. And in the mode of goodness, we feel some relief from suffering, and therefore we think that we are happy. But it's another form of illusion. It's a false sense of happiness because it's temporary and it's based on the mind and senses again. So therefore, here, and going back to the essence of this particular exchange here, the Yamadutas, they're bewildered. Why are these people coming? They have nothing to do with, anything sinful, and they're interfering with our service. And then you'll see as the verses go on, there's a nice discussion. Who does the soul of Ajamil actually belong to? And this particular pastime is one of the most important pastimes in the Bhagavatam because it shows the mercy of the Lord in the form of chanting his holy name and how that power of pure chanting can relieve one of all forms of sinful reaction and elevate one's consciousness to the spiritual platform. But we have to understand that we, the living entities, have nothing to do with this material world. Our life in the material world is like a dramatic performance. A dramatic performance is a stage play where the actors play parts that they are not. But in order to make the stage play very interesting for those who watch it and for themselves, they play their part perfectly. But at the same time, they know that they are not the part they play. Sometimes, even in dramatic performances, people get so absorbed in in the part they play, they actually identify with that part and become, what we say, absorbed in that part. But here, so in the same way, we're absorbed in we're a man, or we're a woman, or we're from this particular culture, and these are all what we call temporary designations supplanted upon the soul due to our association with the material energy and by having a material body. Because life after life, mitche maya ravase kacho bese, kacho habu bubu bajiv Krishna das, vishwas, holidana mukanai. Every life after life, we get different bodies. So we're in a particular body this life, and we've been in different bodies in previous lives. And if we somehow fail to reach perfection spiritually in this life, we'll get another body to again perform activities in this material world. So in any case, the soul has nothing to do with the material world, but still it's thinking it does, and therefore in that illusion it suffers and enjoys. So, but the means to get out is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One who absorbs themselves daily in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and finds time throughout the day to chant also as much as possible, will gradually free themselves from this illusion of material suffering and material happiness. These things will stop. And when we'll attain, as Rishabdev teaches, Nayam deho bhajan nirloke kastam kama arati vidbujanje tapo divyam putra kadyen sadvam Brahma sokam tam anantam. Brahma sokyam, Brahma means spiritual, sokyam means happiness. That material, that spiritual happiness is anantam, it's unlimited. And so the unlimited happiness that the soul is looking for can be found only in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, situated on glorifying the Lord by chanting his holy name, hearing about the Lord, and engaging in various devotional activities. Then one is rightly situated, one is back in their normal position. Again, although we are not physically, haven't reached the spiritual world, we haven't reached the spiritual world yet, still we perform activities that are conducive to spiritual consciousness. And by developing that consciousness, then taktva deham purna janmana 19 mameti surjuna, the soul goes back home, back to Godhead, and performs the same activities it's doing, but in a perfected arena in the spiritual world, in the personal association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where life is eternal, full of knowledge and unlimited happiness. So that is our birthright, and therefore we can learn from this particular verse how one, or this particular pastime, how easy or how dangerous the material energy is, that even such a personality as a Jambiya was a pious Brahmin, and he had no sinful activities throughout his youth. But somehow or other, the little deviation in consciousness, a wrong association. Therefore, wrong association leads to wrong desires, and wrong desires leads to wrong activities. And wrong activities leads to a reaction which causes one to suffer. So therefore, one has to keep and cultivate saintly association. And therefore, that association is elevated because it takes one to one's consciousness of devotion. And therefore, one should avoid what we say, asat. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was with Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana Goswami said, what is the first duty of a devotee? And Lord Chaitanya said, Asat Sangha Tyaga e Vaishnava Achar. The first duty of a devotee is to give up association of the non-devotees and to associate with devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made that an emphasis when Sanatana Goswami asked him this question, what is the first duty? And from that, everything else unfolds. In other words, our Krishna consciousness unfolds nicely in the association of other devotees. So here we can see how a little wrong association in a particular situation that, he didn't even know he was going to be victimized that day. He had no idea. So this is the precarious and uncertain nature of material energy. Therefore, one should be very careful in association with the material energy. One should never think they're okay or situated nicely, because material energy can drag anyone away with a little inattention, or a little wrong activity can force one to become victimized by wrong association. Okay, so here, again, back to the statement here. The Vishnu duties appeared. The Yama duties are wondering why you are interfering with our service. And so that'll go on like that. So, and Prabhupada wants to emphasize that very few people, by quoting that verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kastit Yatati Siraya. It's very rare that one attains perfection. In other words, self-realization. What is self-realization? One knows that he's not the body, that he is actually part and parcel of Krishna, and that his happiness is on the spiritual platform. Okay. And then he takes the word Siddha Sattama, therefore one who has actually reached perfection or a pure devotee of the Lord. We have Siddha, perfect, free from all material contamination, and then take it to a higher state where one is now on the platform of pure consciousness, which is the constitutional position of all living entities. All living entities are pure devotees of the Lord, only covered by the material energy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Nano pranam to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very beautiful class, Maharaj. I was wondering how busy Yamadutas are these days, because with all what is going on this planet Earth, there is no lack of jobs. With Yamadutas, for sure, they'll be going around the people like Ajamila, like me. So thanks, Maharaj.
Yeah, that's a very important statement you made. As sinful life continues, more and more living entities are needed to do the work of Yamaraj. So anybody needs a job. Of course, we don't recommend that one.
Very beautiful class, Maharaj, and you beautifully explained how in different modes we can think that we are happy, but that is also illusion of being happy in different modes. And nicely you said how we connect us through I, me, and mine. That's probably the biggest mistake we do as human being. And as Srila Prabhupada said in the purport, you also said in your class, this is an amazing opportunity in this human form. It's very difficult to get, very rare to get. And we should endeavor to ask every time why we are here and try to get out of this world back to Godhead, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And lastly, we spoke about the association, so beautiful. Association matters, Maharaj. We all know as soon as we are out of even this small group, Bhakti Sangha, and we go out to our jobs and our businesses, we try, Maya just grabs us right away and we try to forget and just, it's so strong. Maya is so strong. So devotee association is so important, Maharaj. That's so true. Thank you so much, Maharaj. What a beautiful class again. Very beautiful insights you gave all the time you come to the class, Maharaj. Maharaj, with your permission, can we go to the question answer session? I already see a hand raised.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Anita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat pranams. Very wonderful power pack class. The living entities are eternally connected with the Lord, but we have forgotten it and we have fallen down. So, and my question is, Maharaj, you were saying we have to give up the Asat Sangha, right? We have to give up the connection with the non-devotees. If it is with the friends or the working place, okay, we can have a limitation with them. But if it is within the family, then how can we give up that association?
Well, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of what actually constitutes association. He says affection for. When you develop affection for another living entity, then you're in that association. So we may have to carry on family affairs or business affairs, but we should do it simply as a duty. And Prabhupada would use the example with, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used the example with family members, especially husband and wife. He says the wife, she's a very dutiful and faithful wife. And she has a husband, but she also has a lover, and she's not so interested in her husband. She's more interested in her lover. And for her husband not to suspect her relationship with her lover, she carries on her material duties very nicely, but in her heart, she's always thinking, when can I meet my lover? So this type of consciousness is that when we have to do, we're at least in a certain stage of life, we have to fulfill certain duties to occupation or to family members. But it shouldn't be done simply in order to enjoy that situation. It's more like a responsibility. We just carry it out. But at the same time, if we can somehow or other encourage those we come in contact to become Krishna conscious, then we can do great service to them and also please the Supreme Lord. But you have to be strong in order to do that, strong in the sense that you don't get dragged down. But family attachment is very strong in this world. And therefore, it's hard to extricate oneself from that. The only way you can actually do that in terms of the emotional attachment is to become really strongly attached to Krishna. Therefore, we have to hear about Krishna, develop our love for Krishna through chanting Krishna's name, associating with devotees. And then when it comes to family responsibilities, it becomes just routine. It doesn't become a source of happiness.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yeah,
that was really, yeah.
It's
Yes,
what I say is easy to explain, but very hard to carry out. So
yeah.
Because of the attachment is there. But we just have to get more and more attached to Krishna, that's all. And if we can bring our friends and family members along, then that's great service.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for that clarity. So we have to do our duties. We have to carry on our duties, like as a responsibility which is given to us. And so we have to be quiet and patient so that everything will fall on line. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neeta Mataji, for the beautiful question. And thank you, Maharaj, for such a beautiful answers. So amazing. Yes, that wife that is cooking for husband, but thinking for Krishna, our position should be that, doing our material duties, but on the other hand, thinking for our real lover who is Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. What a beautiful answer. First time I understood that clearly, that concept of Srila Prabhupada explaining this wife cooking and then thinking of lover. Such a beautiful answer. Thank you, Maharaj. Our senior, His Grace Sukatara Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Candramauli Maharaj. Accept my humble respect of at his lotus feet. This is Sukakar Krishna Das from Chennai. Now, as the Srila Prabhupada's lecture, I have heard that each senses of the animal, the fish getting caught because of the taste, the elephant because of the touch. So I don't know how to explain that. So all the five, they're getting stuck up. Whereas the human being, at the same time, all the five senses are diving against these lusty propensities. Now, we are also seen Savai Mana Krishna Padar Vindur Vacham Vaikunda Gunanu Varnane. The Ambarish Maharaj, how he's using all the five senses. Theoretically, it is there, but the people who are struggling, they are not able, though they are practicing Krishna consciousness, they have to, take like the tortoise is given how to take out all the legs inside. Can you just explain on that concept and how a practicing devotee struggling, theoretically knowing, but practically going through a lot of difficulties, how to stop
that? Well, I would just say increase your association with devotees more and more, increase your spiritual activities more and more. And then you get ruchi. There's one stage of bhakti, it's called ruchi. Ruchi means sweet taste. When the sweet taste develops, then the eagerness to become Krishna consciousness becomes fixed. And at the same time, one doesn't become so much entangled or struggled. It becomes easier to somehow or other go along with what we have to do as a daily, it just becomes routine, that's all. It's almost like, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say that he would take every day his bath before lunch, but he did it almost unconsciously as routine, So in the same way, yeah, we have to struggle, but we should be struggling to use more of our time, energy, and becoming Krishna conscious, that's all. For some of us, we need to increase the quantity of our devotional life, and for others, we need to increase the quality of our devotional life. But in both cases, an increase in any one of these two will help us to diminish this struggle that we are going through to somehow become Krishna conscious. Just don't give Maya any time. That's all.
Maharaj, one more question. Actually, this question, that was not mine. Some of the devotees, when we take classes, they will ask. So I was not able to give the answer. Now I understood that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Now this Bhakti Sangha has really helped me a lot because they have so many good classes. One in the afternoon Bhagavatam and the evening Chaitanya Bhagavat, and then some other classes and all. And I have got my own classes. So in a day, out of 24 hours, I'm spending 10 hours in all these things. I'm retired now. I'm a chartered accountant, retired. And around 6 hours I sleep. Still, I find that 8 hours I'm missing where, though I'm spending my old mother, 85-year-old, I spend some time with her. So I'm still greedy and not able to make full justice. As you said, no, never allow Maya to come. Maya is not coming. I'm not watching TV. I'm not reading newspaper. I'm not saving TV. But still, there is here and there, some time is lost. And so I want to make it 100% remember Krishna and 0% for
Yeah,
Forget it.
I think you're just in a hurry to get back to the spiritual world.
All your blessings, Maharaj. Your
Well,
blessings. I'm not.
I think
I know
that's
I'm not.
that's good,
I'm not.
but that's
I'm
good.
not
But
qualified, but I'm just really seeking your blessings. You are Prabhupada's disciple, so you have definitely Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi. Just we are getting some time to associate. That is a big sukriti for all of us, Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj. We need your continued blessings. Ashirwad.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Sukhakara Prabhu. I'm pretty positive you asked on my behalf all of that, because how much association you devotees nobody get in this group. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Maharaj. Beautiful answer again. Association is everything. And Maharaj, he is in hurry. And we all should have that hurry, I think, to go back to God. Thank you, Sukhakara Prabhu.
I'm just acting. I'm not in a hurry. I'm just showing off. That's all. Sorry.
No, Prabhu, no. You're amazing devotee, Prabhu. Please give your association every day, Sukhakara Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Because I like your the way you talk. You are a real wonderful Utsahan is always there, always smiling and with full of joy, and you're filled with Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jyoti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Lalitangi Mataji spotlight right here. So Mataji, please read one.
Lalitangi Mataji and Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Please go ahead.
Maharaj, please accept our humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. We are missing you, Maharaj, and thanking you so much for your wonderful, wonderful association. So nice to remember your classes and especially your dance, Maharaj, in Madhava Prabhu's Kirtan.
So it was so nice to be with you and your family. It was just wonderful. It was some of my most memorable moments when I was there in Toronto, just being with you and your family.
Maharaj, you're causelessly merciful. So Maharaj, in your class, you said that how we are all like actors on the stage, we are putting up, but our original identity is different. And we don't mix with the material energy, but still we are determined to continue this. Looking for happiness here and then going from life after life after life. Why? I mean, my question is, it's true that we are spiritual energy and we don't get nothing here, but still, why are we continuing our search here and continuing our lives here?
Attachment. You have to transfer that attachment to Krishna. If you see the material energy and you think there's something there for your happiness, then that's the problem. If you see the material energy as simply as Krishna's energy to be used in his service, then you're free. That's all. It says how you interact with and how do you understand the material energy. Material energy can take you into this false sense of enjoyment, or it can provide you an opportunity to serve the Lord. And therefore, the material energy, in one sense, becomes a source of happiness because it connects us with Krishna. So that's actually devotional service. And then that material energy is no longer defined as material. It actually takes on its nature. It's actually spiritual when it's used in the service of the Lord. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Manaso Deho Geho, Yokichu more Arpilu to Arpradenanda Kishore. He goes through a whole list of things that he's in contact with. And he says, it all belongs to you. We come into this world with nothing, In the meantime, we collect a whole bunch of stuff and we think, boy, I got a nice collection. Well, even if you had a good collection, use it for Krishna service. That's all. And teach your children how to become devotees, educate them in Krishna consciousness. And then that's real parenthood. Because you're giving them something that will be their eternal benefit. And you're also benefited by giving them, because when you give something if you give Krishna to others, you also get Krishna while you give it to others.
That's true. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Very grateful for your association. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me so much nice assistance while I was in Toronto. It was fantastic, along with the association.
Maharaj.
I thought you were really nice. I was thinking, well, Lalita Tangi is so nice, but then when I met your husband, I found out he's even better.
You gave us a chance, Maharaj, to be with you. That's the biggest thing, Maharaj. Great, very grateful to you, Maharaj, and looking forward to again, serving and being in your association.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Lalitangi Mataji and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Beautiful, beautiful answer. Manas deho geho jo kuch more. Arpilutua pade nanda kishore. Everything we should surrender to Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. What a beautiful answer. His Grace Parladanand Prabhu, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Raj Prabhuji, for allowing me to speak. And Maharaj, as always, I'm just not asking any question. I just want you to know that I'm there. And accept my humble obeisances. There are some slokas came to my mind, and I just wanted to, share. We are all in family, and how to, rise above this attachment with the family. The sloka is in the 5th canto, Srutabdev Maharaj teachings to his sons. He says, Yeva maise kruta swahrudartha, janesu dehambar vartikesu, gruhesu, jayati jarati matsu, na pritiyukta yavad arthasya loke. So what I do is, I just like in cooking, you put salt as much as required, not more, not less. So that's how I deal with the family affairs and all that, thinking that one day I have to get out of this whole scenario, and let me start preparing for that as much as I can, and that we can do just like Sukdev Goswami tells Maharaj Pariksit. He says, "Samyak vyavisita hi buddhi rajarstita sattama." Vasudev katha mein jata naisthikirati. So more we come in touch with great souls like you, Srila Prabhupada, and all his sincere disciples, and all this bhakti sang. Yeah, it's a great. I see this bhakti sang as Vishnudut themselves, just like fallen Ajamils like us, like me especially. So, this is really, really a diamond kind of opportunity we have every morning. It's a morning here in Las Vegas. So, so this is what I just wanted to put a little input at your feet, and look for your blessing, Maharaj. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you for those beautiful verses. They really illustrated the points you were making nicely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Paladananda Prabhu ki.
Right. Thank you, Prahladanand Prabhu. You are very true. These Matajis, Shyamagori Mataji, Nita Mataji, Anita Mataji, and so many other Matajis, they are Vishnu Dutas actually. because if they wouldn't have started all this,
That's true, very true, very true. You know?
I was sleeping this time. This is like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. at my time. I was sleeping and I was just doing not nonsense. And I'm here because of this group, and it's just amazing. Gives me a beautiful start of the day and remains with me during the day. So that's so beautiful, so truly said.
It was so good. You know, all of them, I really want to touch their feet and get their blessings, you know.
It's not an easy, it's not an easy job. You're right. It's very difficult to arrange speakers, different dates. It's so difficult, but they are doing it so beautifully. So thank you, Prabhu. Very beautiful. Haribol.
We have Asha there. She's been waiting.
Asha Mataji. Haribol. Asha
Waiting
Mataji.
a long time.
Thank you. Pranam Swamiji, Pranam Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Ho.
Jai Ho, Maharaj. When I knew that it was you coming today, I woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning and I was just waiting for the call to start. So I was just chanting, and I finished 16 and then 10 more rounds. So by the time you arrived, so I was just so happy to see you, Maharaj. My humble obeisances at your feet. I have one question, Maharaj, always as I have. The question, I just made a note of it so I don't forget it. It's actually, if you have physically committed offenses like Ajamal, like I know I have committed a lot of sins, so the body, especially the body. So still experientially, if one gets the exposure to who am I, and suddenly the whole life takes a U-turn by his grace, why does it happen even to a sinful person if it happens? And as you said, there is the feeling, when can I meet my beloved? All the time. And the Lord has not given any attachments so that you can remain unattached at every moment. So when your so-called relatives, which are not primary attachments, but very far relatives, when they say you are a normal person, you have committed a lot of sins, you're not perfect, this is not possible, so, it's not going to happen. So then there is a feeling that comes suddenly somewhere out there that, oh, I'm a sinful person. I'm not a perfect person. So I'm not a perfect devotee. So I don't think this realization, what I experientially got, is maybe my imagination. Or maybe I cannot do this. This birth, I cannot. So maybe I'll try next birth. Who is the one who is getting that feeling, and why?
Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar, Mosam Patita Prabhu Nape Evayar. The most sinful persons become the candidates for Lord Chaitanya's mercy. He wants to, when Nityananda and Haridas Thakur went out to preach Krishna consciousness, they were looking for the persons that are most unlikely, and they found Jagai and Madai. And then Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda delivered Jagai and Madai just to show that their mercy is the complete mercy. Even such sinners as Jagai and Madai could reach the platform of devotional service. So no one is exempt, and Lord Chaitanya likes to give his mercy to the fallen souls. So pious credits, that may be helpful in getting a foothold in devotional service, but the success is the mercy of the Lord. The mercy of the Lord is very strong. Lord Chaitanya is extremely merciful. And he's sending his devotees everywhere in the world to distribute his mercy in the form of this Harinam Sankirtan movement.
So Maharaj, my last question is, when one always gets the feeling that there is no time to waste, and it's a thought of the individual or the desire of the soul that there is no time to waste by the mercy of Lord?
That is a certain stage of bhakti that one attains. It's called the stage of Ashakti, where it's about the seventh stage of Krishna consciousness development, where one becomes upset and annoyed if they waste any time other than doing devotional service. If you observe Srila Prabhupada's activity, he was like that. He would not waste a moment So that is a certain quality that one takes on when they get on a certain level of devotional service. They just want to use every minute for Krishna consciousness. And sometimes they will become upset if someone wastes their time.
So, Maharaj, I cannot go to the temple here because it's quite far, and I cannot commute because I don't drive, and sometimes I have classes. So what I do is that most of the time, if I'm not able to go to the temple for any services, I try to be in the Bhakti Sangha, all the classes that I attend maximum, and I always listen to the Hare Krishna mantra if or some other talks or anything 24/7. But whenever, even when I go to sleep, I keep the Hare Krishna mantra of Prabhupada Maharaj and I go to sleep. But always there is a feeling that I don't have a time to waste. I cannot waste my time. And because I want to be at your feet as your humble servant to serve you and to be your take shelter under you. So for that, again, that feeling comes that I have to do that 16 rounds because I don't have time to waste. And yes, Maharaj, I'm also a heart patient. So anytime the heart can stop. So I really know that there is no time to waste. And it really makes me sad that I'm not able to go to the temple. I'm not able to recite shlokas like other devotees. So will I really be able to do the true bhakti? I don't know if that is the feeling of the mind and body, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah, a little more association will relieve you of this spiritual anxiety. It's spiritual anxiety, but it requires some more association. So as you mentioned, because of your situation, you can't associate so much and you don't drive. Try to find that association through the media if you can. And whenever there's an opportunity, you can also invite devotees to come to your home.
Okay, Maharaj, I'll do that. And I'm just taking the citizenship. I was not planning to take the citizenship of Canada, but I'm taking the citizenship of Canada this year because I can come and visit you, Maharaj, all the time whenever I want to. Because I'm all alone. God has not given me anybody or anywhere to go, so I can visit anytime. If you're with your permission, I can visit you, so that at least this life as Ajamal was sinful. I don't want me to die. I don't want the soul to die sinful with this body, Maharaj.
Well, just stay enthusiastic and keep your focus on Krishna conscious activities, and look for the opportunity to associate, and gradually you'll become purified and go back home, back to Godhead.
Thank you, Maharaj, with your blessings. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Asha Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Beautiful insights. You might have some material heart issues, but there is a lot of Krishna in your heart. So, and you are like, you're a big part of this family, this Bhakti Sangha Mataji's family. So please give your association every day. We all seek your association. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
Puja's been waiting a long time.
Puja Mataji. Hare Krishna from Haridwar.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Dandvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances first of all. Maharaj, I don't have any question, but I just want to thank you. As last lecture, maybe before 1 month now, you said that I have a query. Is I am able to recite Damodar Ashtakam as all the time. As one devotee asked me that I have to keep a little lamp with me always if I want to recite Damodar Ashtakam each and every time. So
I answered that question last time.
I said that the question to you, that is that any need to keep a lamp always with me? So you said that there is no need to.
No. Just keep the lamp in your consciousness. Make your
You
consciousness.
said that there is.
Make your consciousness the lamp.
So, but just I want to remind all the devotees, assembled devotees here, that the countdown has already begun. Only 27 days are left for Janmashtami, so we have to be prepared for are the most that I want to tell here. Guru Maharaj.
Good. You make every day Janmashtami. Every
Yes,
day is
Maharaj.
Janma, and Krishna is taking birth constantly in our heart as we chant the holy names of the Lord. So every day can be Janmashtami.
Yes, Maharaj. Dandavat pranam to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Nice to hear you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Puja Mataji. Thank you for attending every day also. Thank you, Maharaj. So beautiful. Krishna Janmashtami is every day. And it is going every day somewhere in this universe. So many kalpas and so beautiful, Maharaj. Thank you so much. His Grace Devanand Pandit Prabhuji. What a beautiful name. Hare Krishna, Devanand Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to dear Guru Maharaj, all glories to the Vaishnavas. I just got one realization. Jamila was saved and delivered only because of his attachment to his family. To that we are solely, we are carefully advised to avoid. That's why therefore I urge everyone to treat their loved ones very carefully and responsibility. Personally, I am not going to treat the association with them as an Asad Sangha.
I think you said something that is incorrect. Ajamil was not saved because of his attachment to his family. He was saved because he chanted the holy names of the Lord without offense.
Sorry, but I can't agree.
I'm sorry,
only
because you can't agree. You don't understand. You read the script, read the book. If you read the purports and listen to the commentaries by the acharyas, they explain his liberation was due to Namabas chanting of the name of Narayan, not to his family attachments.
Why did he chant this name? Because he loved his son.
Well, because
the only one who was close to him.
Well, if his son was named something material and he had love for his son, he wouldn't have got any liberation. The name of Narayan is the whole point. Try to understand that, because he chanted Narayan's name without offense.
Everything around is Narayan. Everything around is Narayan. This
Come
wall
on.
is Narayan.
Get away from your impersonal understanding.
This personal understanding, this is not
It's
impersonal.
Impersonal. I'm telling you, it's impersonal.
I not agree, sorry.
I'm sorry. Well, anyway, just read the books and you'll understand. Hear from Srila Prabhupada and you'll understand. You're just speculating, that's all.
I just love my relatives, that's all.
Well, but you can love your relatives, that's nice, but give them Krishna consciousness.
And I'm not going to avoid association with them. I don't think this association with my relatives is a so-called Asad Sangha. This real Sangha.
If you make them devotees, fine.
I can make them devotees only when I can give them my love.
Go ahead, give them your love, but give them your love in the form of Krishna consciousness. That's real love. Love means to do something good to a person that benefits the person. Love is not some emotional feeling that comes and goes. Love means to serve for the benefit of the person you are serving. That is love.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Devananda Prabhu. Thank you, Maharaj. So beautiful. When we can connect everything to Krishna, that is the reality of life. Yes, we should be connecting every single thing. Our family should be our responsibility, but connected to Krishna. If we can offer them as servants of Krishna back to Krishna, so that is the beauty. What is coming from Krishna is going back to Krishna. That is the real service. So he gave us everything. We should offer them back to Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Such a beautiful answer.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a big family.
Jewish family.
but he gave his family Krishna consciousness.
So true, Maharaj. So true.
So that is love.
Maharaj, Sukhakara Prabhu has another question, I think.
Maharaj, I really like your answers. That's why I'm asking. Don't feel bad. I'm disturbing you so many times. Maharaj, now this the Damodara Ashram I like so much. Every day, morning, evening, I'm putting lamp on all the 365 days. After Mangalarati Samsara Dava, I like this too. Namami Swaram Sachit. So I'm doing it. It's not often because I'm only calling Damodara every day. Just 10 minutes I'm doing that. And about this Krishna, Sarvadharman Parijajya, Krishna told, come and surrender unto me and forget all the religions. I will take out the sins and take you back home, back to Godhead. Whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, you don't have to do that. Jare dekho, tare ko, Krishna Upadesh, grihe thako, bade thako, sada hari bole dako. You be at home, just keep chanting. But Nityananda Prabhu, he went out and Jagai Mother, who were Rakshasas, who didn't want to chant, he made them chant. So I am catching hold of Nityananda Prabhu first, and then Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Srimati Radharani, and then Krishna. Is my understanding correct? That what I love everybody, but I think Nityananda Prabhu, the Adi Guru, is the main person because he's even rascals he saved. So I am the biggest rascal. So I am waiting in the queue in the first. I should get connected. Is it a selfish mentality that Jeev there has to be done? But I am spending so much time in this Sangha and all, and some classes I am giving. So I feel I should become like Vasudeva Datta, helping the whole world. So a lot of things I'm doing, whether I'm doing Ramaruchi more and Jeevadaya is coming down, Vaishnava Seva, some Maharaj come, I do. So I'm not able to equally distribute 33% on all the threes. So how do I go about Maharaj?
Just keep going.
Okay.
You're describing your life as a devotee, and it sounds like you're absorbed. So
no, I'm just showing off. I'm showing off. But anyway, I'm just
like I said before, you're just tired of this material world and you want to get back to God.
Yeah, that was correct. I'm very tired. I want to go back home. But in some Maharaj says, you should say wherever you are, I'm ready to come back also, but serve you. But I don't want to take that step. I'm selfish. I want to go back to Krishna. I don't want to come back to the world. Okay. But even if you, but you said if he orders you, you should go to his. It's a hellish plant auto. I'm scared because I'm not so pure to even go and preach. And so I'm begging that I should go back to Goloka.
Prabhupada said, very few people want to go back to Godhead. So if anyone wants to go back to Godhead, Krishna takes special attention.
Hari Bol, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sukhakara Prabhu, again for jumping in. You seem very tired, Prabhu. Come to Canada, I'll massage your feet. Thank you.
Not bodily
Hare Krishna.
See, your devotion is attracting everybody.
There you go. Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, I also want to say one more thing. You chanted today 3 Vaishnava bhajans, Maharaj, and I was opening them one by one. So beautiful, Maharaj. You know, so many bhajans. You chanted Mayar Bhase, Jasho Veshe, and then you chanted Manas Deho Geho, and then you answered Patita Pavan Hetu. So beautiful bhajans our Acharyas has given us, Maharaj. Thank you so much for chanting those bhajans too. I love Bengali bhajans. I'm from Punjab, but I still love Bengali bhajans. They're so beautiful, so attractive. Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, there is Lalita Mataji on Lalita Mataji, Hare Krishna, Danva Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Please set my most humble obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet. I just wanted to say that it's such great mercy to be in the association of you. And I knew your sister when I lived in Puerto Rico over 40 years ago. I didn't know that you joined, that her brother was a devotee. And I always think that whenever you come, it's such mercy. And recently I just finally gone after COVID to Sadhu Sangha to be with devotees. And it was such a great experience. My motivation was that so many of us will be leaving this world, and I want to be with them before. And yesterday I got a call that Urvasi, my god sister, had left. And I had spoken with her at the festival just before Giriraj Swami started to give a lecture in the morning. And first Nirakula came and hugged me, and then Urvasi was passing to sit about 2 seats from me. And I said, Urvasi, I said, how are you? And she told me she had driven 14 and a half hours to get there, and then she had cooked for 9 hours. And I was just so amazed. And I thought to myself, wow, I don't have that kind of body or ability to do that kind of extraordinary service. I thought, well, Krishna is probably going to keep her here till she's 100 years old because she has so much energy. And I was just feeling like what mercy it was to be in the presence of people like you that have never given up their service and are always so with so much mercy for everyone. Even when we're going the wrong direction, you redirect us if we're misunderstanding. And I listened to Shivaram Maharaj, his podcast about Urvasi, because Urvasi was pivotal in his life, and she basically had preached to him and his wife when he joined in Montreal. And then basically he said she was so attractive in the way she presented Krishna consciousness. And then she actually taught him how to do deity worship, because her husband, Shripati, was the temple president in Montreal. So Shivaram Maharaj taught me how to do deity worship when I was sent from Montreal to Winnipeg. And so the fact is that the link between all the devotees is such a powerful family. This is the family we need to be attached to. And I'm so thankful for you. And I just wanted you to know that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was so nice. I learned so much just by hearing what you said. And especially to get remembrance of Urvasi. I met her one time in Los Angeles, and it was such a nice experience. I was sitting in the temple in LA, and she just came in, and then she came by me and started talking, and we started talking, and then my first impression was, oh, this lady is very humble. Her humility was just overflowing. I was just amazed. Yes. And that was my one and only experience with her. But now hearing from you, then I realized she did so much wonderful service to Srila Prabhupada's mission. Yeah. And obviously her destination is glorious.
Yes. Anyway, thank you so much, my dear Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Lalita. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Lalita. Hare Krishna. Certainly, Mother Urvashi will be doing some devotional service right now with Krishna, cooking or making some garlands for him, for sure. Such a beautiful devotee. Just by listening of her, I was getting enlightened. So I imagine you having her association. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Mother Lalita. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Maharaj Prahlad Anand Prabhu has again his hand raised. Hare Krishna, Prahlad Anand Prabhu again. Maharaj, everybody wants to talk to you again and again, Maharaj.
So greedy, about your association. That at the last moment I said, before Maharaj goes away, let me have some blessing from him. So in connection with Sukhakar Krishnadas Prabhuji, and he has developed desire to go to to Krishna Lok and serve there. But most of us, and especially myself, I'm so unlucky that I still have not developed that desire. I'm still stuck at material world level. But Prahlad Maharaj has said, Naivo Dvijetar par duratya vaitaranya stradvirya gayan mahamruta magna cheta. So even if I go or no go, if I am my chitta is become absorbed in Krishna Katha, then I'm very happy. Plus, he says, Maya Sukham Bharto Udvido Vimudan. So why not help some Vimudan like myself and others with Krishna Katha? And that is as good as reaching Lord Krishna's service anywhere. That was my little realization. I thought, to share with you, Maharaj. Okay, thank you very much for your
Hare Krishna,
association.
Jai
Very well, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Kalarananda. Hare Krishna.
I really am greedy for all this, association we get every morning. So this such a treasure for us. Thank you very much for allowing to speak.
Thank you, and thanks Shyama Gauri for creating this nice sangha of wonderful Vaishnavas who come together regularly.
True. Hare Krishna, Shyama Gauri
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I need blessings from everyone. I need blessings from you, Maharaj. I am the most fallen, that's why my claim is first.
Well, I'm going to say something to that. Prabhupada said, when someone said, I was the most fallen, they said it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, you're not the most anything.
Yes, Maharaj. Very true.
Don't look for any distinction. So we might feel ourselves the most fallen, but keep it quiet. So yeah, well, the fact that we're in the material world is an indication that we're fallen. So that's obvious already.
Thank you, Maharaj, for your association. I'm very excited to welcome you in Charlotte.
I'll be coming soon. So a couple of weeks we'll be there.
Thank you, Shyama Gauri Mataji. Thank you for your efforts and thank you for creating all this Bhakti Sangha. So we all know what you are. You don't need to say. Thank you, Shyama Gauri Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Shama Gauri doesn't have to go back to Godhead. She's already back to Godhead.
She is already there. Yes, Hare Krishna. Haribo. Thank you, Maharaj. What a beautiful answer.
As a wall of your mercy, Maharaj. Nothing is like.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, Shyamagauri Mataji is very enthusiastically preaching, and so that's how she has collected all these devotees to help. And so she's a leader.
10 years every day doing this program for 10 years. Wow, amazing.
Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj and devotees from all over world, Canada, USA, India, Dubai.
Everywhere.
Maharaj from everywhere devotees join this group. So it is such a big effort, such a beautiful service.
It's efforts from every devotee, Maharaj, not just me. They just put me in front, that's it. Everybody is working in the back. That's why.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Everybody is working in the back for you, so you can go ahead.
I think
answers.
Maharaj, last question, Maharaj, how can we make our breathing as chanting? How can we make our breathing as chanting? Because Prabhupada, when he was, some doctors went, dig, it was like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then the doctor did not find dig. The heartbeat was Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So you being Prabhupada so close, you can tell how we can make 24/7, even by going here, there, toilet, everywhere chanting.
One thing you can start off with, and this is a practical matter, is before you do anything, chant your 16 rounds. After you rise, take care of your hygiene, and then do just 16 rounds. Don't do anything. Shut off the cell phone. Leave it alone. Those who make their rounds the most important part of the day will also be able to chant more and more naturally throughout the day. If we push our rounds to different places throughout the day, unless it's an emergency, then we'll never develop that attraction for chanting. We get up so we can chant our rounds. That's the reason why we get up.
Maharaj, get up at 4 o'clock and start chanting 4 to 7:30. So you want me to chant and then take bath, or take bath and chant?
That's up to you. I can't tell you that one.
Okay.
Thank you, Sukakara Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you to everybody. Thank you to everybody. Raj, all of you, I feel you're all Goloka people. Come here to just give blessing to the whole world.
I do have a flight to Detroit this morning, and I have to get ready for it. So I might have to say goodbye to all of you right now.
Thank you, Maharaj.
This has been a beautiful satsang with all of you. Thank you.
Maharaj, so many devotees love you, Maharaj. There are so many nice
Maharaj,
and
actually one Mataji has joined today. I have brought it from Radhanath Maharaj disciple. Lavanya Mataji, she has joined today. So she is very, very happy. Lavanya Mataji.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, again. Thank you. There are so many beautiful messages, and they are thanking all of you, Maharaj, for the class. Thank you, Maharaj. And we all know you're getting late for the flight, Maharaj. So dear devotees, Maharaj has to go right now because he has a flight. He has to prepare. So Maharaj will come again to us in the near future. Shamagori Mataji will invite Maharaj, and Maharaj will show mercy and come here. So dear devotees, let us pay our obeisances to Maharaj. Vancha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj ki jai.